In Lithuania, there was the city of Tels, and Tels was very well known for its yeshiva, for its educational facilities. The first chief rabbi of the city of Tels in the modern era was Rabbi Eliezer Gordon. He was a great Talmid Chacham, he was a great scholar, but he was also known for his incredible piety. When he came to town and he was appointed the chief rabbi, one of the first things that he did was to go to all of the Jewish shops and to inspect their weights and measures, to make sure that they weren't cheating their customers. This made him somewhat unpopular amongst the townspeople. They said, this is not the rabbi's place. The rabbi's place is in the yeshiva, to give talks, to deal with the kashrut. Why is he coming into our shops and examining our weights and measures? But Rabbi Gordon felt that this was very, very important. This is something that he had to do as the rabbi of the city. And he was so insistent that the weights and measures had to be honest, that when non-Jewish merchants would come into the town of Tels, perhaps on a market day, they would insist that when they bought something, they would use the expression, we want the Rav's scales, we want the rabbi's scales, Rabbi Gordon's scales. And he became famous for that. Why was Rabbi Gordon so particular about it? And it's really related to this week's parsha. This week's parsha tells us that over and above all of the mitzvot, the commandments that we have to do for Hashem, we also have to create a holy society. And creating a holy society means how we treat other people, our honesty with other people. And therefore tells us, Moznei Tzedek, you have to have righteous scales when you weigh out, when you measure something. Somebody comes to you, you're a shopkeeper, and they ask for 2 liters, and your container is not accurate. And instead of telling them 2 liters, you sell them 1.8 liters. But you give the impression that it's 2 liters. The Torah says this is completely unacceptable. And in fact, in Devarim, it goes a step further. It speaks about honesty of weights and measures, and immediately thereafter, it speaks about Amalek, the attack of Amalek, the arch enemies on the Jewish people. And Rashi asks the question, what have these two subjects got to do with one another? Honest weights and measures, and the attack of Amalek on the other hand. And he says this is coming to teach you something, and it's quite an ominous lesson, that if you are dishonest in weights and measures, and you rip off one another, then you have to be concerned that the enemy is going to come and take hold of you. If there is not justice amongst our people, then the enemy is going to come and punish them. Why is it so important to have honest weights and measures? And the Talmud explains to us that as bad as stealing is, but it's something that can be rectified. Somebody steals from a person, they can give it back. In fact, it is a mitzvah to do so. You can rectify your mistake. You can pay it back. Sometimes you have to pay double. Sometimes there's a penalty. It can be rectified. But there are certain types of theft that can never be rectified. And one of those types of thefts is Gezel Harabim, a person who steals from many, many people. He doesn't even know who he's stealing from anymore. So when it comes time to do tshuva, repentance, who's he going to pay back? What's he going to do with the money? How's he even going to estimate how much money he's stolen? Yes, it's true. The Talmud says, you know what, take that money and use it for the benefit of the community. Build bathhouses, build communal institutions, but you can never really adequately pay the person back that you stole from. This is exactly the problem with weights and measures, and that's why Rabbi Gordon was so concerned. Because when a person has dishonest weights and measures in his shop, he is stealing from so many customers that he doesn't even know who those customers are. He can never pay back all of the money. How can he do repentance? That's the most serious crime. And therefore, it's not just the rabbi's responsibility to come to town and to make sure that the shops are kosher, that the Eruv is kosher, that there are people learning in the yeshiva. No, it's just as much his duty to make sure that there is honesty in trade and commerce. Because especially this is an area in which Jews and non-Jews interact. And the worst thing is for people to turn around and to say, that is a dishonest Jew, because that brings the whole of Judaism into disrepute. So we should follow the example of Rabbi Gordon and make sure that we are scrupulous in all of our business dealings with Jews, with non-Jews, with families, with friends. I wish you a Shabbat Shalom.